Hey, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to start the engine harness on the AE86, so come along. Yeah, so if you watched last week's episode, you know that we got the chassis harness all done for the most part. I want to start tackling this engine harness here and maybe just get it at least laid out and kind of see what we got that we want to plan to do with it. Yeah, so I got a bunch of connectors here. Oh yeah, they're all right here. So we're going to make sure all those fit. I want to start actually putting up the correct wires in the computer and stuff like that. I'm not going to be able to film too much of the working because I need to use my phone to look at the wiring diagram to make sure that the colors are the correct way, but I'll make sure to update you guys as we go. My goal is to have this harness done here in the next week or two, and then we can pull the engine back out to get ready for timing belt, clutch, all that kind of stuff. And ideally, running and driving by the end of May is kind of my goal right now. Yeah, so making some pretty good progress. Got the TPS wired in, map sensor, crank sensor, fuel pressure sensor. I want to try getting the idle air control, coolant temp, and maybe intake air temp done yet. Because that'll pretty much be like this half of the engine. Injectors are kind of on this half too, but I gotta do some splicing and stuff like that, because you have to there's one power wire for all the injectors. The ECU just does the ground, so you have to split the one power wire into 4 at this case. Yeah, so far I'm really liking the way it's turning out. That's, especially for my first harness, you know, I'm sure there's things I probably could do better, but I think it's going really well. So I'm gonna work on idle motor right now, and then we'll probably do the coolant temp because that's the next easiest. Intake air temp, it's gonna be a little weird because I want to put the sensor in the trumpet. I don't have the trumpets yet, so I might just leave that one a little long so that way it'll work where I'm going to put it. And then, yeah, we'll probably call it a night. All right, well, I'm going to get going on this, and again, unfortunately, I need to use my phone for wiring diagrams and stuff, but I'll update you as soon as I get it done. A little bit of change of plans. I decided I wanted to do the injectors. Could have done them a little different over here, but I am not super upset with how that turned out. And now here we got the idle air control done. So all that's left, because the harness is gonna break away from this side of the engine and that side of the engine right here. So all that's left right here is the intake air temp, which again, I might do that, I might not, I'm not sure. So then next is we gotta work our way this way. So it's gonna be the, I don't know if I'm gonna show you guys, coolant temp sensor right there. And then we'll work on the cam angle sensor, and probably the coils. And then once all those are done, over here we just have crank position sensor, oil pressure sensor, I'm waiting for a different one, and VTC. And the engine harness is done. I think I'm actually gonna be able to get this done in the time frame I want to have it done at. I'm shooting for driving in May. I think it can be done. I don't really have to buy any more parts besides little miscellaneous things like, you know, rebuilding the brakes, getting new brakes on. Got the whole fuel system all bought. Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of have to, you know, play it by ear. So that's actually where I'm gonna leave it tonight. I'll probably come back out tomorrow and maybe see if I can get the coolant temp and the coils. So it's been a few weeks since I've actually filmed on this car, mostly because I need to use my phone for a lot of the actual wiring diagrams and stuff I found online. We got a lot to go over on that, but I got one thing I want to do before we do that. I want to bring you guys along with hopefully getting the wipers to work today. So I've got, it's figured out kind of what it needs to be, and I've got the pin out over here. So I think it'll just be wire these couple things up, and we should be good, I think. But I want to bring you guys along. I don't remember if I need to pull up resistor on that. But yeah, I'm gonna get all set up here, and we'll go along and see if we can get some working wipers. All right, first things first is we got a half bridge here that we need to pull out. to power the motor itself. That should be this one right here. So we're just going to kind of twist tie some stuff together to see if it works. And if it does, we'll go from there. So this one should, like I said, be the actual one that powers the motor. And thankfully there's a ground through the body, so we don't have to worry about a ground. So it really should only be 2 wires that go to this. It's kind of nice. Okay, and then it should just be solid blue for the park. And then we got the switch input. So now I already tested the power, like I said, so I know the wipers are working. Well, theoretically work. Let's back the camera up here and see if we got wipers that'll park themselves. Oop. Something's wrong there. Let's turn that off and see. Okay. So maybe I'll just disconnect. Let's just disconnect the park wire for now. The wipers themselves working, eh? I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. Yeah, okay, so that's what it was. It was just too slow of a speed, I think. Okay, so now if I ground the orange and green, the wipers should turn on. Should not park though, because we still gotta figure that out. But let's try it. Orange and green to the ground. Cool. Really loose in there. All right, now I want to try getting the park position put back in. All right, let's see if they'll park now. No, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it on the wrong input. I just looked up my diagram. Let's redo the position on that and see if it's any better. Blue and white. It should be this one right here. All right, let's try that now. Hopefully they park. Looks like they kind of do. Yeah, I think it's mostly just a setting thing at this point. Cool. So now that we know what wires they are, the plan here is going to be to pull all the rest of the wires back through the engine, through the firewall. I'm probably just going to set them on the floorboard for now. I want to get them out of the harness because there's no real reason to have them, at least in my opinion. But I'm gonna bring you guys along for that, and then we'll finish wiring up the wires or wipers, and then we can actually kind of go through everything that I've done in the last couple weeks. So let me get a little bit set up here and get those wires pulled through. All right, so I don't know how much you guys are gonna be able to see of this. Haltech makes some really nice loom connectors and everything like that, which is all fine and dandy, but I want to pull all these wires out. There's really no reason for us to have them in here. So I'm gonna unloom them and pull the wires out. It'll be all right. I mean, you don't really see it, but first thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the battery. All right, so let's pull some of these connectors out.
You just want to be a little bit extra careful when we're taking these out so that we take the right ones out. What I think I want to do is I want to try getting as many of them pulled through as once, and then I can take them all out of the harness at once. There we go, blue and purple. Cool. All right. These are all old injector wires here for, you know, V8 type stuff, which were not that cool. So some of these wires are going to be tied in with other ones, like there's grounds and sensor voltages and stuff like that. Those wires will just not obviously have to take out of the harness, but have to trim them back, if that makes any sense. Oh, I'm sitting on them like a fatty. Oh, jeez. Those wires. I swear it'll look better when we're done. Maybe. So I'm just depinning them from the cluster here. Or not the cluster, the connectors. That way we don't have a bunch of pins at the end of the day and we're like, what's going on? You know, instead of boring you guys with this, I'll just show you the end here. So just wait till it's done now. Well, this is where we're at right now. And I'm probably gonna leave it like this for the time being. These are all grounds. They're all tied into each other up there. I'll pull them back, snip them down, and secure them. This is the wiper switch, so that's gotta get ran yet. Most of these just need to get loomed and tidied up, but otherwise, it's done in here. And the engine harness is officially done as well. Comes out over there. We got, you know, the map sensor, the knock sensor, the alternator, GPS. Got the coolant temp behind the head, injectors, coils, oil pressure sensor, starter. Yeah, pretty much everything. The only stuff that's left to do on that end is to actually run like the big lug power cables and everything. But I want to do that on the hoist anyway. I think it turned out pretty dang good for my first engine harness job. Hopefully everything works. I've looked on the haltech and it shows everything is working on that end. Ooh, I don't know if I showed you guys this. But check engine light. And we got that. We have a working charge light too, and the gauges work. I could probably show you that real quick. Alright, check out the coolant temp gauge here. Ready? Pretty sweet, huh? Now check out the oil pressure gauge. Yeah, so basically we're using duty cycle with the with the haltech that's got the gauges hooked up to work that way. So I mean, until we actually get the other stuff done, we're done with wiring. I'm very excited to say that because it's been a long time coming, to say the least. But that's actually where I'm gonna leave this video. If you guys are looking forward to more, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.